Hey David, so we're here to display your amazing MOC. It's the Pirate Treasure Map. I know you did it in collaboration with your wife, Paola.
Yep.
I'm just gonna hand it over to you and give us a little bit of this backstory.
Yes, thank you. So the idea with this is it's a blown up version of an actual part that Lego produced back in the 80s. So right here through the magnifying glass is the original. It's a 2x2 tile. And so the idea was, it was one of my first sets as a kid. And so we wanted to present this in a collaboration at a museum exhibit that was happening last year.
Yeah.
And so we designed a mosaic. It fits in our type of style, and we really enjoy images and with our work and everything. And so we wanted to do that. And yeah, it was a really fun challenge because one was doing this kind of netting where we wanted to make it rolling water. So providing that little texture was a really nice way of trying to provide it for the kids to see something that's a little more dynamic in the design. And then we also went with different textures, because that's the other half of a mosaic, is providing different textures. So having a smooth outer exterior, and then a different, almost like a gold treasure style for the land, just something different. And then also providing some neat little details on the ship and the compass and such.
Can you talk a little bit, because you did mention some Easter eggs in here?
Yes, so there's underneath this, because it's got a bit of thickness in order to make it work for the water, each of these land pieces has a tiny mosaic underneath that traditionally it's kind of a thing for us builders. Like, no one else really would know about it.
Yeah.
But we thought it was a great way of just showing the children at the museum, like, hey, this is a different, something you can build for yourself, let alone for others. So under two of them are the countries that myself and my wife are from, since we're from other countries.
Where are you guys from?
I'm from the United States and she's from Italy.
Okay.
Then the middle one has the logo of the local lug that we're part of, VLC. And then under the mainland where the X is at, the X itself is over top of treasures. There's actual gold and gems underneath there. But beforehand, as you're getting there, there's usually dangers and trouble. So there's actually a skull from like a pirate map, the old crossbones kind of skull.
Yes.
Is right before you get to the treasures. So again, it was something for us, and it was a nice way of adding layers and not just having it the same from layer to layer.
So my question is, when you actually feature this at a museum and it's hanging against the wall,
yep.
How does the actual water formation, does it just sort of like naturally kind of orient itself, and does it?
Yep, it's very similar to this. We hang it, it's not perfectly vertical. It's maybe about 20 degrees leaning back against the wall is the best way.
Okay.
But a lot of this is all free floating. So if you were to turn it the other way, it would just all lift off on its own.
Okay.
Really, just these areas we kind of snap it down to help, just so that these items can fit down in properly. Because again, part of the challenge was this had to stand for about 6 months vertically.
Oh, yeah.
With very minimal going in and fixing it, which we only had to fix it a tiny bit just because of just moving it into place. And then once it was in place, got it all situated, put the plexiglass over, and 6 months later, we had to pick it up and find a way to get it here, and it all worked out. Yeah.
I love like the details and the little Easter eggs, having the little treasure underneath the X that marks the spot. That's really cool to be able, and I know that you also have a video of the making of.
Yeah, we have a PDF at the QR code that artists, everyone can take a look at and see. And the idea is, again, it's just to show you those breakdowns that you see the final product, but you don't necessarily get to see what the artist had to go through to get there.
Yeah.
And it was something that we thought was very important, especially for the children audience that we were aiming at the museum. Like, this you don't just build this and go. So you have prototypes, you're doing tests, and then eventually you slowly work up and you find mistakes, and maybe you have to tear something apart to make it better.
Right.
So this of course didn't happen overnight. This is easily, between 6 and 8 months of actually building. And then about 2 months prior to that, just figuring out the size and scale, let alone the logistics for an exhibit location. Like, where can we put it? What designs do we have to worry about for the case itself.
And for the design, did you do any digital design
There,
to set it up?
we definitely started with digital design,
Okay.
just as a basis for scale,
Yeah.
but with a lot of heavy input. So it was just to determine, like, if we work at this scale, how does these pieces look?
Yeah.
You know, versus maybe 20% bigger. And that you do it in small bits, so it's not the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just portions of it that you know, I was worried about the pirate ship, and we were also worried about, like, this small island. What's the right size to get the detail just enough to make it work?
Yeah. I'm just zooming in here.
Yeah.
With actually seeing some of the detail.
Yep. Even the lines was another one where the scale was like, okay, if we want them to be roughly the right thickness to be stable, can we get away with 2, or do we need to go 3 wide?
Yeah.
3 high on the brick.
So how do you actually secure these in
Yeah,
place?
so these ones are actually secured. I can pop this one off. We're just using
That's it, huh?
snots with a little bit of
Oh.
needle nose, and there you go. And that was probably the coolest thing that came out of this that I never imagined I'd use. We used a lot of tweezers to put this together
okay,
because
yes.
with the fishnets.
Yes,
Tweezers was our friend because you really have to get it in there with the overlaps.
I see.
So that was a new, quote, tool that I never thought to use before, was for this type of thing. Maybe for a model kit, but so that was a nice little joke for ourselves if we had to buy an extra pair of tweezers.
There you go. Have you already decided what you're making next?
We have ideas.
Okay.
There are some ideas related to either the pirate treasure stuff, whether it's a mosaic or like a 3D sculpture. That's still to be determined, but we're open to ideas. It's about, again, it's about what we want to bring to it, as well as what can we offer to someone who may not normally look at it the way we see it.
Right.
What would they bring to it?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, thank you so much, David.
Thank you.
This was really intricate, and I love talking through the details with you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.